Testing. 1, 2, 3. Johnny Chaos was first in the chat. What's up, Johnny Chaos? Good to see you, friend. Good to see all of you guys, crypto family. You crazy crypto lunatics. What's up? What's up? What's up? We're going to give some people a time to trickle in here. But we are live. We are live. It's good to see everybody. Mike Joey says, first guy in line for a tasty cheeseburger at your favorite spot at Johnny Chaos. Damn, a tasty cheeseburger sounds pretty good right now. I am missing the food from where, back from my old neck of the woods. I'll tell you that. Unplugged Dad is second. Hey, you know what? Second still counts. Second still counts. Red Squirrel, oi, oi. Jeremy Ayers says howdy. Crypto Bigfoot says fifth. Trevor Hansen, 5555. Agree. I'm staked 5,555 days. Can you believe that, guys? Also, for anybody new to HEX, you don't have to just have one single stake. Just like it's okay. You don't have to own a whole Bitcoin. You don't have to have only one stake. It's common misconceptions for the new people. Also, for the new people, here's a fact you might not have known about HEX. Do you know we have two HEX charts now, EHEX and PHEX? Both of these hexes have different prices. Okay, so you can look them up on CoinGecko, and you can see the hex on the PulseChain is currently worth about 2 times, double what the hex on the Ethereum chain is worth. Some people are calling them EHEX and PHEX, okay, without overcomplicating it. A lot of people, when they look at the chart, though, they'll only show you the EHEX chart because that's all anyone's familiar with. And so people that don't know that we got a free coin copy. You got a free coin copy of all your coins, by the way, on PulseChain. If you were holding any ERC20 coin on May 13th, 2023, go check, see how much they're worth. If you're brand new around here, if you got Pepe Coin or Aave or Chainlink or even Bitcoin, WBTC or ETH, well, ETH kind of turned into, ETH not really so much because it turned into Pulse. But a lot of these coins, a lot of these new, they're called PRC20s, they've got a non-zero value. So for anybody that's brand new around here, check out what your free money is worth. You might have some still. People are trading wrapped Bitcoin for like $80 for some reason. You know, it's cool to see. It's cool to see. It's all social experiment. Social consensus. Hex Alted says, coffee, so happy to see you live, sir. Happy to see you in here. Dahidi says, Dublin here. Crypto Bigfoot says, dang. Am I doing any AVAX mentions? No, I'm not really into Avalanche. Meme coins? Not mentions? No, I'm not doing it. I don't really do meme coins in general, so like I'm definitely not doing any Avalanche meme coins. But I'm more familiar with PulseChain. Like I'm kind of I'm pretty vertically integrated into PulseChain, like pretty hard. I've branched out into, you know, some Ethereum projects here and there, but in the past especially. But yeah, PulseChain is where I see the future going. PulseChain is what I've got my bets on. It's what I've got my sights on. And when I think about the future, cheaper, faster version of Ethereum, you've got coins like HEX that have been around for 4 years, truly decentralized. I mean, I get more excited about that stuff like PulseChain, where like you own the casino. If you own PulseChain, it's the price of PulseChain is directly correlated to the success of the platform. The more people that trade, the more it's bought and burned. So, hey, Soldier USAF sub friendship confirmed. Agree. Friendship confirmed in the chat. Pulse Demic says morning coffee. Good morning. It's afternoon over here, I would say. But yeah, wherever you are in the world, wherever you are. Sally says I love cheeseburgers. Me too. It's the universal language. I think it's one thing we can all agree on. When we're not fighting on Twitter, I think we can all agree that we all love a good cheeseburger. Unless you're a vegan, in which case I feel sorry for you. But try it. Try eating good quality meat. You might actually feel better. Believe it or not. Martin says, this Friday can't get any better. Crypto Khalil, good to see you as always, sir. They have chopped cheeses down there. They got stuff down here. They got a lot of fried stuff down here. It's all right, but you know, I'm trying to eat healthy, right? Pretty much all I eat every day is like I eat steak, and then I'll cook up like onions or mushrooms with that. Maybe some kefir, some yogurt, some fruit. Moved into papaya lately. Some eggs. But I try to keep my diet pretty simple. And then my guilty pleasure is I'll go to Burger King. I'll get a Whopper. Naughty me. Harry says 3 charts. Third one combined HEX. Oh, that's kind of true, I guess. Yeah, so you can people that don't know around here, if you're new to the HEX PulseChain community, you can look up CHEX or checks. You know, if you look that up. Hold on a second. Let's hop over to the screen share, shall we? Screen share. Support me on Patreon if you want to talk one-on-one, by the way. I do have a Patreon, so if people want to actually chat with me. But yeah, let's go pull up dexscreener.com. There, Dex Screener. I'm doing the one hand thing because for some reason I still don't have a mic stand. You would think You'd think I'd have bought a mic stand by now, but no. I'm holding the Shure SM7B, by the way. So people want to know what this microphone is. Shure SM7B, SHURE SM7B, and it requires a sound card. So I've got a Focusrite Scarlett 2i, I believe, and then Sony ZV-1 is the camera. It can be yours for under $2,000. They're kind of pricey, but this is what I do for a living, so figured I'll get some decent stuff. It's not even the best. Anyway, HEX, guys. So a lot of people, if you want to know, long-term holders in HEX probably are more concerned with the HEX price because they're staked and they were staked before HEX. Now, more recent stakers, I understand. If you want to just pick PHEX, that probably makes more sense right now because of the gas fees. But some people are buying EHEX as a hedge as well because there could be times where EHEX, shoots up and depegs from the ratio. There are plays to be made, for people like when you think the ratio gets out of whack. So people watch the EHEX to PHEX ratio within the PulseChain community, and they try to sometimes speculate on that. Combined HEX is sitting at 1.5 cents. Not the best price we've had, but you know what? It's really no different than prices we were at exactly like 1 month and a half ago on October 20th. Yeah, so 45 days ago, we were at these prices. And, it's kind of like a support resistance point. Look at how many times we tapped this. Once over here, we hovered around this in the early days. And then flew right through it in late October. Uptober, that was a good month. Anybody remember Uptober? It's funny because everyone's like, oh no, the prices are falling and everything else is going up. But it's like last month or October, we were all taking our victory lap. I don't know who remembers this, but it's funny how quickly people forget. HEX, PulseChain, PulseX were up 50%. Everything else was down. We were bragging. We were screaming online. We were advertising, marketing, right? So anyway, that's the combined HEX price. And don't worry, guys, everything is cyclical. It'll have PulseChain and HEX and PulseChain and PulseX, I believe, will have their time to shine again. And like, if you believe they're dead now after surviving the SEC FUD, right? Like, how much worse does it get than SEC FUD, right? It's like, oh, but they're dead because the URL went down for a couple hours. Like, I don't know. If you're in it now, to me, it's like, if you can't take the pain, I feel bad for you. I guess maybe go chase pumps, but that is not a winning strategy in my opinion. Let's look at the prices today. PulseChain is up 9.5%. PulseX is up 8.68%. INC is up 7%. And PHEX is almost at a penny again, up 12%. Finally, a little green candle, guys. Finally, a green candle. I don't think we've seen green candles in the PulseChain universe for a whole week now. 7 whole days. I remember I did a stream last Friday, and we were pumping as well. And we haven't really had the best week, but we've got green candles again. So something to actually enjoy on a Friday afternoon. Hopefully everyone's out there done with the work week, wrapping things up. Hopefully you took the day off early if you got one of those weird office jobs where like I did where you don't really do shit. Hey, take the day off, work on your side hustle, go to the gym. Take care of your mental health as much as you can out there. And if you find yourself too ingrained in the Twitter world, if you're logging into Twitter every day and it feels like the world is ending, someone's always going to be screaming and crying about something. Like, there are always going to be complainers, naysayers, and people that complain but add no solution or add no value. And if you focus on that, you really do get what you focus on. So, if you log into social media, whatever you're focused on, whether it's politics or, the war or whatever doom porn you're into, it could just be crypto prices. It could be crypto FUD. It could be listening to some guy saying, HEX is dead or PulseChain's never going to pump ever again. If you listen to these people, and you're listening to these random guys that have never really done anything successful with their own lives, or maybe just misery loves company, then it's going to be contagious on you. You're going to bring yourself down to their levels sometimes. So just be conscious of where you're putting your attention. It's your most valuable life force energy. And a lot of people, myself included, I'm saying that, I'm telling you guys that because I found myself getting pretty riled up seeing the behavior of some of these so-called long-term holder believers. But my fundamental thesis hasn't changed. My fundamental value props of HEX, PulseChain, PulseX hasn't changed. The on-chain metrics haven't really changed. Nothing on-chain, no data point is telling me that HEX is dying at all. The community's still here. Everything is going pretty good, pretty awesome. And there's this decoupling. Other than the price, all the builders, all the content creators, things are coming out every day. It's so overwhelming, I can't even keep up. You've got HEX Scout. You've got limit orders now on PulseX. the Tetra protocol, just put limit orders on PulseX. You got new features coming out all the time. And Liquid Loans has out minted, I think, $20 million. It's $20 million of PulseChain backed stablecoins, potential buy pressure. Like, when I look around, I just don't see, something's got to give. There's clearly a divergence of reality of how awesome things are versus the price, which it just seems like everyone's chasing the Bitcoin narrative right now. And whoever's buying the Solana pumps and stuff like that, the VC coins, just know that you're probably getting exited on by a lot of centralized middlemen that bought these coins early. That's the one difference with PulseChain that a lot of people don't get. Is the reason that everyone hates us, the reason that we don't get any press in the mainstream. Like, PulseChain is basically the counterculture cryptocurrency. It's the anti-hero, right? But it's really the only crypto that's doing things the right way. It's the only one that's like, it's more decentralized than almost anything else. Downloadable DeFi, IPFS, like, there's been a lot of chaos in the ecosystem lately because of, let me show you guys something. Can you believe, and watch this, guys, in 2 more weeks, in 2 more months, let's say, we're going to be arguing about something totally different. There's always the FUD of the week. We need to all take a deep breath sometimes. Okay, we need to take a deep breath, take the new changes and updates as they come, and then react sometimes with constructive criticism rather than just outrage, complaining, whining, baby talk online. But most of the guys, most people in the community are pretty okay with this and understand the greater implications. So when you go to the PulseChain community, right, a website I like to start off on is called gorealdefi.com. This is gorealdefi.com, right? This is your one-stop shop to all the links for all the different apps, right? So if you're brand new to PulseChain and you want to figure out how to use it, you can buy HEX and WPLS on the Ethereum side down here. This is in the lower left corner, in the lower right corner, you got the Ethereum side DEX. In the lower middle, you've got the PulseX, that's the PulseChain side DEX. In the upper left, you've got the HEX staking. In the upper middle, you've got the PulseChain bridge. Now, all these links link off to what's called IPFS. And so that's a recent change, kind of recent, within the last month on PulseChain. A lot of the websites are now hosted on the decentralized internet. IPFS is the decentralized internet, right? And as with every new thing, you're going to have some portion of people that just, they hiss at it because new thing scary, new thing bad. But when you think about it, guys, look, I don't think it's ideal either for people to have to run their own IPFS clients because everyone's so used to running Chrome, right? Everybody's so used to just running a browser. And up until this point, cryptocurrency has largely been websites. But when you think about the reason crypto was invented was to get rid of middlemen, right? And when you see the attack on crypto coming, oh, we got a notification. Thank you so much, Soldier USAF, for the $10 super chat, bro. How do you like that gift, by the way? Got a greedy Richard. I will get to that question right now, and then I'll get back to talking about IPFS. What's a more realistic, in your opinion? Our ecosystem completely missing the bull run due to it being difficult to onboard new people, or PHEX to $1? I think it's PHEX to $1 is probably more realistic. But how about PHEX to 50 cents, right? I don't think missing the bull run is even a topic that should be on anyone's mind. So if you think that, if you caught this bug, whatever this mind virus is of quote unquote missing the bull run, and you believe it, well, it's time to probably sell, buddy. But I don't think that's true at all. I think it's just a lag. I mean, there's temporary decouplings as we see in every potential bull market, right? So you're going to have some things pumping while other things aren't pumping. It's the way it is. And if it keeps you up at night, there's other coins to chase that have already gone up a whole bunch that don't look like good buying opportunities to me. So you're also asking me a weird binary question, right? That's not a good way to think, right? There's only 2 choices in this question. Doesn't pump at all or goes to $1. So that binary thinking is not going to get you, like, you need to realize that it's probably, even if it doesn't go to $1, it's probably not going to do nothing either. All right. Jeez Louise. A wild SJ appears. Good to see you, SJ. And then let's see what else we got. Let's go back to talking about the potential attack on crypto. So Operation Choke Point 2.0 is what, some people are calling this, right? Like the 1.0 was during the, with the government trying to ban weapons, marijuana, shutting off people's bank accounts. Well, it turns out they don't really like crypto either. And even though it's not a problem now, we haven't seen too much of this yet. They came for Tornado Cash because they didn't like people mixing coins. And we saw them take down a front end. The Tornado Cash front end was seized by the government, and that's because they could, So centralized websites are still choke points. There's still places where if the government were to seize them, they could go down. And people think that, oh, well, that means that crypto went down. But really, crypto lives on a blockchain behind the scenes. It's like a decentralized network that runs on tons of people's computers. And so what IPFS is it's like a decentralized version of the internet where these are all now hosted. And so you'll notice, like, if you go to a lot of the websites, like app.pulsex.com, bridge.pulsechain.com, go.hex.com, they've all got these screens now where you've got a ton of different options of how to run, the trading platform or the bridge or the HEX staking. You've got a ton of different options for this, right? So you can do IPFS, and this is an IPFS gateway. So it's basically you're able to run IPFS through your browser, but it still is actually run through HTTPS because it's run through a gateway, a provider. Now, the latest updates here was that the new IPFS gateway provider was changed to MyPinata. So they're a lot more friendly to us, apparently, than potentially some of the compromised IPFS gateways like DWeb or whatever could potentially not be favorable, right? Now, if anybody ever wanted to run this IPFS hash, they could just hop over to Brave browser, copy and paste this hash, right? And actually run direct IPFS on their browser. But not a lot of people know how to do that. Not a lot of people want to do that. But you got to think about where the future is going, right? So when the future happens, 2, 3, 4 years from now, right? When power becomes more decentralized, or imagine governments start coming for crypto a little bit more. And they haven't really come for HEX at all, or PulseChain, or PulseX. The SEC suing Richard is not really an attack on the websites at all. It's kind of separate for now, right? But anything could happen. So you got to play, 4D chess. You got to think 5 steps ahead of whatever your potential adversary could be. So, hopefully one day in the future, it becomes easier to run IPFS within the browser, right? Like Chrome hopefully will enable it. Right now you can do it on Brave. It's no problem. You can just copy paste this hash into Brave and enable IPFS in your settings and you're good to go. Or you can click this link right here and it opens up PulseX just fine. So that's going to be around. And that was the little bumpy rock in the road everybody was freaking out about the last 2 days because the link went down for like a matter of hours, right? So it's like a bunch of people freaked out. And okay, like if that's what's going to make you sell, I guess good luck. Good luck in life. You can also run it from your desktop, right? So I've got Windows. If you have Mac, click Mac. You just run it from your desktop. And this right here, the downloadable DeFi, right? We've had people like Ivan on Tech talking about this. We've had people like the Liquidity protocol, pretty popular Ethereum protocol, right? A lot of people are wanting to do the run from your desktop version. They're moving towards downloadable DeFi in the future because it's protecting the end user from any kind of censorship. So if you really want to do crypto the right way, if you really want to be censorship resistant, censorship proof, you download the programs on your computer and then you go in your downloads folder and you just double click on the file and it'll open up your browser again, but it'll be running locally. So it takes a couple, like 2 or 3 extra clicks, but this is really the safest version. And by the way, guys, these are, in my opinion, growing pains, right? These are growing pains. Like the user experience is not super ideal. Like there are probably things you could do to make this easier. For example, a 1-click download, or have some way to run it in the background of your computer when it starts up. But things get better, okay? We don't live in a static world. We don't live in a vacuum where nothing happens, right? Things are always improving, always getting better. And so this is kind of like iteration 1 of the decentralized PulseChain universe, okay? You got all your apps right here. You can go to any of the individual sites, right? And then they all look like this. And then you can either click the IPFS button, right? You could download it. They all do the exact same thing. They all bring you to the PulseX trading, okay? Or there's tons of community sites, which I just use Pateus. To be honest, most of the time I just use Pateus because you might be getting a better deal. Pateus is a DEX aggregator that we have on PulseChain now. We got tons of people building, guys. Tons of people building. It's awesome. It's awesome. Yeah, so if you run from your desktop, they can't stop you. It's literally unstoppable code. If anyone can just run it locally, it's unstoppable code. It's like a government can put a choke point on a website. A government can take down one website. But one cool thing is that, crypto is like the Hydra, the myth of the Hydra in ancient Greece. When you cut one head off of the dragon, the 3-headed dragon, it's like 3 more heads grow back in its place, right? So we've got all these community site backups, right? If this website went down, everyone would just start using, dex.toys or pateus.io. And there's so many different websites. So there's centralized websites. There's a lot of centralized websites that form a decentralized community. But, for onboarding purposes, it's good to get familiar with running things on your own computer because, I really am trying to think about this a couple years ahead from now. A couple years ahead, we might live in a world where the government continues to try to crack down more and more and more. So you want to be ahead of the curve, right? We want to be ahead of any adversary, and not be blindsided by it. So, I think dealing with this now, dealing with the uncertainty of what is this new thing? What is this new download thing? And it's not even that crazy, right? Like if you guys have all downloaded a program on your computer before, everyone's downloaded a program on their computer before. So the concept of downloading something is not that new. People are scared about that. I really don't know what to tell you, but just also know that, things don't live in a vacuum. The user experience will probably get better and better over time. And of course, you can always click this IPFS link as well. So that's kind of what's going on in the PulseChain world. If you want to run all the code yourself in a more decentralized way, you can run it from IPFS. All these websites are hosted on IPFS, meaning they really can't be taken down by a central authority. And finally, even if one of the gateways goes down and you don't feel like running IPFS, the software, like on Brave, maybe you don't feel like getting Brave browser, even though that's another just couple of clicks over there, you could always download it. So, yeah, for new people, it is always going to be difficult, right? For new people, it's always going to be difficult. But you know how many steps a new person has to take already to get into crypto? They've got to download a wallet. They've got to memorize seed words. Like the whole crypto user experience is pretty bad, but it's only going to get better. So people thinking that we just live in this vacuum where things stay stagnant, I think that's probably where the fear comes from. Like, oh, this is just the way things are going to be forever. That's like saying like, oh, no one's going to use the internet. Who would want to put their credit card details into pizzahut.com to buy a pizza on the internet? And now we look back in hindsight and everyone buys everything on the internet all the time. So I know new things are scary and there's always the naysayers of no one's ever going to use this. Number one, educate yourself early. When it's easy to do, all the opportunity will be gone. Number two, things improve over time. We don't live in a bubble where everything just stays stagnant. And number three, just think about history. Okay, think about history. Think about electricity when that came out. Who's going to use electricity? Who's going to use the Model T car? We've got the horse and buggy. That works just fine. People were they were spreading FUD about electricity back in the 1920s, 30s. So it's kind of what this reminds me of. Moving toward a downloadable version of everything seems to be a safer, better way to do things objectively. And it does take a couple extra clicks right now, but who knows, one day in the pretty near future, even like 1 or 2 years, maybe even a couple months from now, you might not have to click anything. You might just download it once on your computer and then you'll just always have it there, right? And actually that's true today. If you download this on your computer, it's always on your computer. You never have to actually go back to a website, right? If you press the Windows download button, it's sitting in your downloads folder. And the concept of downloading something is somehow so foreign to people that they're going to be scared off. It's like, okay, you don't get the opportunity then. Come back when the green candles are up, right? And I really do believe that when green candles come back, the narrative changes, guys. The narrative changes when green candles come back. We've got green candles today. Okay, but when PulseChain, PulseX HEX does a 5x from here, 10x from here, everyone's going to be cheering on decentralization. The narrative follows the price. All right, like I've been saying this for a long time now. If you show me the price chart, I'll spin the news however you want me to spin it based on the price chart. If there's red candles, we could take the news and we could make it a bad narrative. Green candles, we take the news and we make it a good narrative. So all it's going to take is one pump for people to believe. But if you don't believe, please don't be dead weight. Don't be a negative Debbie Downer. Don't be a net negative to yourself, first of all, but then to other people as well. Because, it sucks when like maybe you're scared, but then you drag 10 people down with you. And then wouldn't it suck if PulseChain, PulseX HEX does a 10x, 20x in the near future, and then you just told everyone to dump all their coins? I think that would suck. So I'm still on Team PulseChain, still on Team PulseX, still buying. I'm honestly still buying. Time will tell. Is this the craziest decision ever, or will we be right? Will we have conviction? Will we stand by our beliefs? And will we have the last laugh? Will we have the last laugh? I think everything is looking great. I think on-chain metrics are looking wonderful. I think the community's never been stronger. Well, the real community. And for the people that want to shake themselves out, please, please, please get rid of the dead weight. These negative attitudes, guys. These negative attitudes aren't going to get you anywhere in life. Long-term holding, delayed gratification, that's what HEX is all about. PulseChain. And guess what? PulseChain is only 7 months old. 7 months old. Average block time, 10.7 seconds. Let's see what some other statistics. We've got 50,000 validators. This might equate to like 1,000 actual people. All across the globe, decentralized. If we show you the globe, look. USA, South America, Africa, Saudi Arabia, all of Europe, China, India, Indonesia, Australia, New Zealand. Shout out to that guy, whoever you are. Maybe it's a couple guys. Japan, Alaska, Canada, Mexico, all over the world, guys. This is a global grassroots organic revolution. You can be part of it, or you don't have to be. You can sell. You can go chase Bitcoin. Have fun with that, guys. We'll be lucky if Bitcoin gets to 100K. So have fun chasing Bitcoin if you want. 14.6% APR on PulseChain validators right now. So you could stake and run your own validator. Oh, but that requires downloading something, and that's too hard. You could do it, guys. If you want to run your own validator, you can download the validator software. You go watch David Feeder's tutorials at validatorstore.com. Validatorstore.com. And yeah, you can go watch that and make 14.6% APR on your PulseChain. Minimum of 32 million Pulse, which today only costs $1,700. Imagine if 10x, if we go 10x from here, then it's going to cost $17,000 to run a validator. And that's going to be a lot less affordable than getting 32 million Pulse right now. So I think 32 million Pulse is a good amount to have. I mean, hey, at least you can run one validator. Look at the people for Ethereum. Ethereum costs 32 Ethereum. What is that? $64,000 to run one validator today? And I think on Ethereum you make 4% APR. So look, guys, a lot of people are priced out of Ethereum. That's just the facts. You know, it costs $50 to make a swap. It's going to in the bull market. Right now I think it costs like $20. But gas, I mean, we're not even in a fully fledged bull yet. Hold on, we got a little notification. Thank you for the sub, Yannick Cote. Thank you for the sub. Thank you for the sub. All right. We need tutorials for new coiners. Yeah, I mean, it's super easy. Everyone can make a tutorial about how to click on download and then go to your downloads folder. You know, everyone's downloaded software before. So, like, when the green candles come back, mark my words, you're all going to be praising decentralization. You're all going to love decentralization again. But this is what it looks like, guys. This is what it looks like. Speed bumps, everybody. I know that maybe we could add some words on this screen like, hey, click on this link to run PulseX. You know, cough, cough, developers, if you're listening, you could add a helpful little tooltip, you know, like a little tooltip icon of click here. But, you know, get familiar with IPFS. Learn something new. Learn how to download. I see a lot of people complaining that, oh, it's going to be too hard for new people. I feel like that doesn't show a lot of faith in people that you're trying to onboard. Yeah, things are going to get better. Things are going to improve all the time. I understand. I know user experience. It used to be my job. User experience used to be my job. And so when I see this, I see a lot of improvements that could be made. But in the meantime, it's really not too hard to do, guys. I mean, you click on IPFS, it opens up the bridge, everything. And if you don't like going to different websites, we have a single centralized website. If you guys like centralization, here's a centralized website, gorealdefi.com. And we're actually, in a way, we're in a better position than we were a month ago. A month ago, you had to go to 6 different websites. Now you've got gorealdefi.com. You can even go to buy PLS up here. Look at this. Press buy PLS. What is this? Where does this take you? Oh, it takes you to gopulse.com. You can buy crypto on, I think, on Change Now. Change Now, stealthx.io, pulseln.com. You've got, what is it? Not Let's Exchange. Let's Exchange temporarily doesn't have it. You've got Coast. You've got gainpulsechain.com. You've got Kanga. Kanga.com for people not in the USA. Centralized exchange. You can buy EHEX, PHEX, PulseChain, and PulseX. It's like you got like 6 fiat on-ramps already. Or maybe 5. Duarab, thank you for the subscription, sir. I missed the days when it was just HEX. Yep. Is that a winky face? Yeah, you know, it is crazy, right? It's this complicated world that we all have to navigate, right? Sometimes I miss the days when it was just HEX because you've got a lot of junk. You've got a lot of garbage and people trying to fight for your attention, right? Like, look at my meme coin over here. And if we focus all of our energy and effort on just a few coins, like we've still got a giant community, bigger than ever before, growing every single day. Let me show you guys a statistic. First of all, 14,000 daily active users, 13,000 today. Recent spike up here, guys. Look at this on-chain metric for PulseChain on the screen right here. A lot of people don't talk about this metric. In recent days, we've seen a huge spike of daily active wallets, up to 38,000 daily active wallets. Now, I've been asking people, and I don't know why. Like, I don't know why this spike happened. If there's any insider info, hot alpha, I would love to know why we had such a huge spike lately, up to 38. Now we're back down to the normal. Like, we reverted to the mean, it appears. But if anybody wants to tell me why freaking 30,000 extra people, 25,000 extra people just decided to make wallets and stuff, it's not like we have another Zen 2.0 coming out. Like, I don't get it. But anyway, but it's a good thing, right? It's a good thing. Anyway, I want to show you guys something. This is proof of community. All right. Proof of community. apphex.win/charts. You've got people here that are locked in HEX for many, many years. They have staking ladders, myself included, and a lot of PulseChain guys that just got here. I understand a lot of people don't have any HEX staking ladders. They don't believe in HEX anymore at all. They don't even believe in PulseChain anymore. They just thought it was easy because, oh, the HEX guys got rich. So now the PulseChain guys, we get our turn. We got to wait. We got to be patient. And we got to project. We got to spread the message. This stuff only works out with adoption. It's literally corresponded very, very closely correlated to adoption. Price and adoption go hand in hand. And so these are the strongest adoption metrics, right? The fact that PulseChain has, look, 126,000 stakers probably represents about 50,000, 60,000 real people worldwide. I mean, these are hardcore, you can call them super users, right? In typical traditional UX, you might want to call those a super user because they've actually staked their HEX. They put their money where their mouth is, that they believe in this long term. And the average staking length is 7 years. Maybe it's 6.9, which would be kind of nice for the memes. 69, nice. Anyway, we've got a ton of people out there. These are real people doing real stakes that actually have voted with their money that I'm not going to touch my stakes, because in HEX, if you end your stake early, you get penalized. People are new there. If people are new here and they don't know that, HEX is staking with massive consequences. So don't be silly. I see people emergency ending their stakes. I'm like, what? How do people not research like what they're buying? But anyway, these people aren't going away. You can't kill us. We're like that cockroach that we're not going to die no matter how hard you want us to go away. We're never, ever, ever going anywhere. Okay, this is immutable code that cannot be taken down. It's on an immutable blockchain, decentralized blockchain, immutable code, I guess is a better way to say it. And look, guys, the Ethereum share rate is about to go up pretty drastic. The HEX T-share rate. It's about to go up from 30,000 to 34,000. There's going to be a 10% jump in the T-share rate, and it looks like that's going to happen. Let me highlight this area, zoom in. That's going to happen on December 18th. So if you don't get stakes in the next 10 days, you're going to be getting a 10% worse rate. Doesn't seem like a bad idea to get in because, you know, with the ETF coming January 5th through 10th, I believe. Last time I checked, the SEC had a meeting with BlackRock. They basically had a launch date of the ETF on January 5th through 10th, somewhere in that time window. Now, some people could be treating this as a buy the rumor, sell the news on Bitcoin, but a lot of that Bitcoin money that was in Bitcoin, you know, whether it's new or not, a lot of that stays in the ecosystem and might tend to trickle down to Ethereum and to altcoins after people potentially sell the news. Maybe they get ready to be risk on in some other assets. Can you imagine if the Fed starts printing money again? Be great, guys. Be great. We'll be off to the races. Bull market confirmed. But right now we're just in that fresh bull territory, mostly on Bitcoin. Everyone's kind of in disbelief on Bitcoin. So I do think it's going to, I would imagine Bitcoin will come down and retest because everyone's so bullish on Bitcoin right now. Seems like we've got to have a retest and a pretty big pullback on Bitcoin, in my opinion. You know, when you see like, I don't know, you see people calling for like 100K Bitcoin already. And it's like, I think you're a little too premature on that, guys. So when Bitcoin does correct, we could easily see that money flow down, trickle down tokenomics, trickle down Ponzi-nomics, lol. All right, $81 million bridged in. On PulseX, we've got 38 million trades total, $8 billion of total volume, and over $100 million of total liquidity, TVL. And that's in PulseX alone. Pretty cool metrics, guys. But look, the stakers are the real ones keeping the chain alive. I mean, a lot of these stakers, too, they're out here spreading the message. They're spreading the message. Where else do you have people locked in for that long? You really don't see that. Hex Scout, we'll talk about that later. Let's go over to the chat, shall we? Let's the Jeet goes. Let's the Jeet goes? Yeah, let's let the Jeets go, I think is what you meant to say. Let's let the Jeets go. Be gone, Jeets. Be gone, foul Jeets. Look, man, crypto's not an easy game. Crypto is not easy. It's not for the faint of heart. We're a little bit masochistic, aren't we? Holding through 90% dips, 90% plus, dollar cost averaging. Shout out to anyone that's been dollar cost averaging. I saw a dude on Twitter today. Oh, I forgot who it was. Scott? I think his name was Scott. You know who you are. We met in Vegas. And this dude said, I bought Hex at 44 cents. And he said, just today, I'm finally in profit because I dollar cost averaged my way down. How insane is that? The dude's in profit today. Dude's actually finally in profit after buying at almost the all-time high. I don't know many people that bought at 44 cents. That's pretty high. I know a lot of people bought it like 20, 30. A lot of people bought it like 10 cents, 9 cents. But I mean, shit, imagine buying at 40 cents and then imagine buying the dip so hard that you're actually in profit today. And then imagine like this, and then imagine having your money parked in the stock market the whole time. It's like you could actually be in profit today if you bought the absolute bottom enough on Hex and PulseChain. They're still up like 50% off the bottom. And like, what happened to the stock? What happened to the S&P 500? Like, oh, up 5%. Like, that's the power of the long-term holding, the power of the believing. That really is the power of it if you do it right. I mean, some dude is in profit today because he just dollar cost averaged. He believed and he bought so many times at the actual bottom, potentially. Now, there's no guarantees. I don't know if it's the bottom, but it does feel like potentially a bottom is in. Oh, I pray to God a bottom is in. Don't you guys? I don't like seeing red candles either, believe it or not. All I'm saying is you got to have conviction. You got to stay strong. You got to hold your breath underwater longer than everybody else. You literally have to drown the weak non-believer soy boy lettuce hands. Drown the doubters. You have to think like a whale. You have to stay underwater for a long time. Most people can't handle it. It's a game of attrition. Crypto is a game of attrition. Last man standing. That's what that means. Archie says, I bought early before BPD and never bought again. Just restaked all. Nice, dude. Yeah, some people are just here recompounding. Hell yeah, Archie. Just bought before big payday, got a ton of bonuses, and now you're just sitting on, well, probably a lot more. If you bought before big payday and staked, you're probably still up. I think most people that bought before big payday, November, near the end of 2020. Benny Blanco says, trust code, not people. That's right. Trust code, not people. People run websites too. That's the thing. Good thing we're so decentralized in PulseChain that it's like playing whack-a-mole. Like if you really try to shut one website down, guarantee you some other awesome dude like RH Max. Shout out to that guy. Shout out to Marlin. Let me show you guys another website. Marlin from PulseChainFoundation.org. PulseChainFoundation.org. Here's another set of links. You guys like more links? Here's another backup set of links for you guys. Bridge, PulseX, scanner, validators, staking hex. It's all right here on the PulseChainFoundation.org. PulseChainFoundation.org. Shout out to Marlin. I'm going to be meeting with this guy pretty soon. He's going to be in my neck of the woods. We're going to go to a conference, I believe. Can't wait to meet him. But shout out to this guy. Look, we've got so many people that just build backup options. You got Tangang out here. They made like 6 links already. You've got Degen Protocol. Made a bunch of links already. Am I missing anybody? PulseChain Hotlist. PulseChain Hotlist made a whole bunch of links. Shout out to PulseChain Hotlist. You got coin ranking sites, guys. PulseChain Coin List and Pulse. Geez, I can't even remember. PulseChain Coin List.com. Did you guys know PulseChain has its own coin ranking site? Consistency, persistence. That's all it takes, guys. Oh, wait, it's Pulse Coin List. That's right. Pulse Coin List. Can't believe I remember all these. Is it Pulse Coin List? There it is. There it is. Top cryptos on PulseChain. Up 10% today. We're right back to levels that we've been at for a while. 54 on PulseChain. 15 on PulseX. Just almost at a penny again on HEX, PHEX. Over half a penny on EHEX. We're doing all right, guys. We're hanging in there. Not dead yet. Not dead yet. but we're going to miss the cycle. Wah. If you really believe that, you shouldn't be here. If you really believe that, look around you guys. Look at all the stuff going on. Look at all the stuff happening. Look at all the people building. We're not going anywhere. Sometimes it takes longer than you want it to take. Consistency, flexibility, and relatability is what it takes. Consistency in the messaging, flexibility to allow new ideas to come your way, and then relatability to the average person. So we're consistent, right? Not your keys, not your coins. There's certain things that Richard Hart actually instilled in the ecosystem that I still see today. That's like, I don't see this in any other community, but it's like a red flag. If you don't have, for example, audits, or if you have admin keys that can do anything, like that was something Richard instilled in everybody. And now everybody follows that idea because it's a genuinely good idea. Why would you want someone to be able to, like, you know, sneak through the back door? I don't want anybody going in my back door. Wink, wink. No, you're not getting in my back door. So like a lot of protocols on PulseChain, they have this real decentralization ethos that came from HEX, came from Richard. And so like if you're a PulseChain project starting out, you're not going to make it very far if you just try the same old scam tactics, right? You actually have to have some like audits. I don't even think audits were that popular. HEX, dare I say, popularized audits, right? Had 3 audits. And like before that, I don't really know of many other protocols that had audits. And if they did, they definitely didn't use them in their marketing pitches. You know what I mean? So there's just certain aspects of decentralization. That's consistency, right? That's culture. That's within the PulseChain culture, is real decentralization. Then you've got to be relatable to people. It's possible. It's possible. And then also, hey, do you like being free? Do you like nobody being able to shut you off? Because this is what decentralization looks like, guys. This is what it looks like all over the world. Look at that globe. That's decentralization. Everyone's just running software on their own little computers, no matter where they are in the world, making 14.6% APY, getting paid for doing so. You got David Feeder over here, validatorstore.com, supplying a lot of these guys. But they're not all David Feeder. I know it says 54%, but a lot of people, validatorstore.com is the default. It's the default graffiti for anybody running his script. So, you know, let's say it's maybe more like 30% that are actually him running. Just guessing here. There's no way to ever know all this stuff. SugarBeat, if you guys like privacy, you've got beatroot.world. They've got a protocol called SugarBeat. You can actually stake your coins, earn yield. And then when you unstake your coins, you can use this protocol here to unstake them to a new wallet. So you can have a fresh PulseChain wallet and get interest, get yield in the process. So I like SugarBeat. I wouldn't put like a huge amount of money in this, but if you need a fresh wallet, if you need a privacy wallet, you know, if you don't like people snooping around and using blockchain explorers to find out where your address is, try out beatroot.world. This is a pretty cool app. Omnis protocol. Let's talk about Omnis. Look, look at the screen right here. You can do multi-coin swaps. So look, I can swap, let's say I had a whole bunch of crap coins, or let's say I just wanted to get rid of like my Hedron or my CST and my Tetra or whatever, and I want to buy Pulse. I could swap 3 coins at a time. I could swap up to 5 coins at one time for a different coin. So multi-coin swaps, you can swap 5 coins for 1 coin all in the same click. And now you've got limit orders, guys. Agree, sign my life away with the terms and conditions, and then go ahead and, PulseChain limit orders are here. PulseChain limit orders are here. So anyone complaining, PulseChain limit orders, why isn't the price pumping? Why isn't the price pumping? Because, guys, new features don't directly pump the price right on the same day. It's just sentiment. It's just sentiment. It's not like, oh, we have liquid loans now. Why aren't we pumping? It's because it takes time. It's because it's cyclical. Everything is cyclical. If you don't believe, you don't need to be here. I believe, guys. I believe. Omnis is looking pretty good, though. I really like Omnis. Limit orders on PulseX, guys. Limit orders on PulseX. There you have it. But what will people complain about next? What's the next reason that we're not pumping? The reason we're not pumping is probably just because people aren't onboarding enough. They'll find out about it, guys. They will find out about it. All it's going to take is a couple green candles. We got to be patient. We got to be patient. Good things come to the patient, persistent. The believers. The believers in almost any crypto that stood the test of time have been massively rewarded. And it seems inevitable that PulseChain, PulseX, and HEX are going to stand the test of time. In a way, HEX already has. So there's your proof of concept. HEX has been around for 4 years, never been hacked once, survived the worst of the worst FUD. PulseChain, PulseX are still here after SEC FUD. Like, I don't imagine you can get much worse FUD than the SEC FUD. But oh no, somehow a link being temporarily down, I guess, is the FUD of the day. And if that's worse than the SEC, to you, I don't know what to tell you. But congrats to all of you guys still here. Congrats to the thousands of people still here, still building every single day. It's amazing to see. Amazing to see. Real decentralization. Launch all the PulseChain apps right here, guys. We're not going anywhere. Think about it, guys. We would have been dead by now if we were going to die, in my opinion. We're too big. I think we got critical mass, okay? Nothing's guaranteed. But it also, it goes a lot faster. It helps a lot more if you, I guess, either onboard new people. That's one thing you can do. Another thing, though, is just taking your mind off social media, guys. Taking your mind off social media. Because let me tell you something. There's always going to be a coin that's pumping while your coin is not pumping. There's always going to be a coin to look at and say, well, that one went up 3x. Why isn't it my turn now? You just got to wait, guys. Because the people that then go chase that 3x pump, they're the ones getting dumped on. And then maybe they miss PulseChain pumping. All it's going to take is a few green candles, my friends. All it's going to take. We are pumping a little bit. That's right. That's right, dude. See, look. It's all about framing. It's all about framing. You really do get what you focus on. If you're making yourself miserable on Twitter and you're not enjoying the fact that we got a 10% green candle today, look at that, guys. 14% up on HEX. I like looking at that. That makes me feel good. And the long term, you can call it the investment thesis, whatever you want to call it. The long-term value proposition, in my eyes, has not changed at all. The only difference is short-term thinkers are whining on the internet, and you literally get what you focus on. You know that saying, like, you are the 5 people you hang out with the most? It's true on social media, too. Think about who you're following on social media. If they're screaming about anything, and they're not offering any solution. Oh, this is terrible. Oh, my God, the link is down. No, who's ever going to come? And then, like, later that day, the link gets fixed again. It's like, maybe, use the mute button, guys. Use the mute button. Take care of your mental health out there, guys. Your attention span, your energy, your attention is literally the most important thing you have. That's what you can use to make money. That's what you can use to literally do everything in life. And people are trying to vampire attack your attention. It's crazy, man. People are trying to vampire attack you in every single way in crypto. All you got to do is just take a stance, take a position, take a long-term view, delay gratification, believe. Even better if you build, even better if you onboard, but that's optional, right? But at the very least, it's like do no harm. At the very least, in my opinion, don't be a detractor, because you're going to bring yourself down, and then maybe some other poor souls are going to go down with you. And there's a lot of dead bodies that don't really get too loud. They don't really have much to say when the price pumps without them. A lot of the losers in crypto, they don't really make a lot of noise. DGen Moonboy says, I hate when my coin isn't pumping. Yeah, that's most of the time. Hit the likes, guys. Hit the likes, guys. Finbear says, Titan X Jake, is that you? We got a Titan X boy in the chat. Good luck to Titan X, guys. Finbear says, loser. Good luck. So yeah, we can go for 49 minutes right now. What else do we have to talk about today? Pateus, awesome DEX aggregator. Guys, I use this more than I use PulseX itself. Use Pateus. They even got a window to Pateus in Coast. If you don't have your Gain PulseChain account yet, really consider making one. It's the best way that I know of right now to onboard into PulseChain. You link your bank account, gainpulsechain.com, and it's basically the Coinbase of PulseChain. All right, you can mint coins directly on there. Fees are super cheap right now. Fees are 1%, and you can get them down to 0.25%. And if you use my code, you can automatically get them down to, I think, 0.75%. So, because my invite link will give you 5,000 free weight tokens. You stake those tokens, you get your fees down to 0.75%. That's lower than Coinbase's fees. And, you transfer your coins in, you mint some stable coins, or you buy PLS HEX or PulseX directly, and then you are good to go. Do whatever else you want in the PulseChain ecosystem. Don't gamble all your money away in the casino, but hey, if you want to, go ahead. If you want to do a little side bet, you know, a couple $50 here and there if you really need that adrenaline rush or whatever you're into. Yeah, Hex Scout, by the way. I was going to do a video about Hex Scout. Let's launch into the beta on Hex Scout. Here's a website where if you're onboarding somebody into Hex for the first time, this is your one-stop shop for all onboarding into Hex, okay? You can buy Hex right on here. You can buy EHEX or PHEX. You can learn all about the staking ladder system. You could even contact them for support. If you want to pay them for some time, they'll walk you through everything on the phone. They'll phone call you for a day or two, I believe, and it's like you have your very own customer support team to get you into Hex and to stake Hex. I love Hex Scout. It's a great app. Let's look at the portfolio side, right? Like, so for the portfolio, this is not my portfolio, but we can watch somebody else's. The God Whale, for example. Let's look at the God Whale. The God Whale's portfolio today has $103 million in it. Crazy, right? Crazy. $28 million of Pulse, $24 million of EHEX, $40 million of PHEX, and $11 million of PulseX. The God Whale is doing pretty good. It's good to be God Whale. But then it breaks down all your Hex into liquid and staked. It even breaks it down into HSIs, I believe. And it also breaks it down into all of the derivatives that you bought. It'll also show you the value of all your other assets. If you've got Icosa, Hedron, all those other coins, a lot of different coins they're tracking. So the one thing this doesn't track right now is liquidity positions. If you have a liquidity position, you're not going to see that reflected in your total net worth. But that's okay, as long as you know that you have it, right? But if you're looking at this and you put your addresses in here and you're like, well, it should be more, chances are your liquidity position is not being counted, right? But you can see your total Hex balance, your average stake duration. God Whale staked for 14.1 years on average. Insane. Crazy to me. My average is 7 years. God Whale's 14. That's crazy to me. And then you can become a Poseidon. Like, it tells you how many more shares you need to get to the next rank. It'll also tell you, now God Whale doesn't have any, but if you had perpetual contracts, meaning if you bought the Maximus tokens, if you bought Deci, Lucky, Trio, or Base, those are also reflected. And they even show you your virtual T-shares too. So it counts those. What I love is that it counts like the number of T-shares total that you have. If you want it to, it can factor in the virtual T-shares that you have by holding the Deci or any of the perpetual tokens. For people that don't know what perpetuals are, they're just pooled Hex stakes. So one time, long ago, people got together. They put millions of Hex into these staking contracts. So you've got like a pooled 1 year stake, a pooled 3 year stake, a 7 year, a 10 year, and a 15 year. And there's already been over a year completed on all those. And so by buying one of those coins, you're just buying a position. You're buying a share in the underlying stake. And right now there's huge discounts on all the Maximus perpetuals. Huge discounts. Look into maxi.com. Look into maxi.com. Now, I know a lot of people that watch and probably don't care about this because you can't think long term. But for the long-term thinkers that got rewarded, that will probably be rewarded again, there are discounts right now going on the PulseChain side and on the Ethereum side. On PMaxi, Deci, Lucky, Trio, and Base. I think more so on Deci and Lucky because they're longer term. They're longer out. They're staked out for longer. So yeah, you've even got a discount right now on PMaxi. You've got a 33% discount there. You've got a wait. Let me just go back to the homepage. Let's go back to the homepage, shall we? It just tells you right here. Okay, so on the PulseChain side, if you want to buy into a 10-year stake, you've got a 39% discount on a 10-year stake, a 16% discount on a 15-year stake, 18% discount on a 7-year, 9% discount on a 3-year, and a 7% discount on a 1-year stake. And by the way, guys, there's already 1 year completed on all these. So the 3-year stake, it's only got 2 years left. 7-year stake, it's only got 6 years left. 10-year stake, it's only got 9 years left. 15-year stake, it's only got... the 15-year stake has been going for a long time. It might only have like, I don't know, 13 and a half years left. It's pretty good. Pretty good. If you're thinking about staking Hex long term, it's honestly a way better deal just to buy Deci right now. It's not going to be here forever though. In the bull market, that gap is probably going to close. Gap is probably going to close. What else am I interested in? There's so much going on, guys. So much going on. Just ask Richard Hart what's the best coin. He'll say Hex on PulseChain. I don't think so. I think the jury's still out. It's the same code. I mean, the price is higher. The price is definitely higher. I don't know if it's like definitive You know, there hasn't been enough time yet, right? I know the whole one to one parity meme is like a meme, right? Like, oh, price parity, that'll never happen. But crazier things have happened. I'm not discounting it. It's still on the table. One to one parity is still on the table, but it is far fetched. It's far fetched. It's wishful thinking on my part, but you could eventually see one EHEX be worth at least one PHEX. But you know, what's more likely is that, you know, EHEX is going to find stability right around some ratio. You know, it seems like it's hovering around the 0.5 mark a lot lately. So it's kind of mean reverting. EHEX is worth about half of a PHEX, and it keeps kind of like fluctuating, but then reverting back to the mean. So yeah. Blue Collar Grunt watches. Blue Collar Grunt says, does Hex Scout let us toggle on and off perpetuals value in earned Hex? Yes, it does. Oh, wait, in earned Hex? That's a good question. That's a good question. I got to go back and check my portfolio, but I'm not pulling that. I'm not pulling out my portfolio on screen right now. Nice try, Blue Collar Grunt. No, I'm just messing around. I feel like it's got a lot of cool features for the perpetuals, and I mean, it tells you I don't know if it tells you the USD value and the actual underlying Hex value, but I'm pretty sure it does. I'm pretty sure it does. Everyone's focused on PHEX. They are focused on PHEX right now. And, you know, it makes sense, right? It does make sense. Because I think not a lot of people are clearly staking EHEX anymore because they don't want their gas fees to be outrageously high. That makes a lot of sense. You know, but people are still paying attention to EHEX, I think mostly for, like, speculation plays. I mean, we just saw EHEX blast off of its bottom and do a 3x. And that blew a lot of people's minds. You know, they thought it was never going to go anywhere. So, I mean, there could always be, like, when people forget about EHEX and just totally write it off, you could actually probably buy a little bit and have that be a hedge against everything else. But yeah, I mean, for new people, look, if you don't like high gas fees, staking Hex is way cheaper on PulseChain. So, the voice of God says, just don't ditch your PHEX no matter what you do. That's right. That's right. Citrus Squad. What the heck? 1 minute it's Tang Gang. Now it's Citrus Squad. I can't keep up with you guys. I can't keep up. I'm assuming you're a Tang Gang, dude. Citrus Squad. Lol. High gas fees suck. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. God, there's a fly flying around here. Get out of here. Get out of here, fly. I swear to God, this fly. Benny Blanco says, I think it was from a Liquidity X account. This is obviously going decentralized, copying RH. Well, yeah. I think a lot of people secretly watch RH, secretly copy him. I'm pretty sure a lot of people... He disseminates good ideas, and some people adopt them and then don't give him credit. So, I'll give him credit. Thanks, Richard. Tomato coin in the red. Uh-oh. Tomato coin sounds like it would always be in the red, sir. That sounds like a thing Tomato coin would do. Tortuga says gas fees suck on Ethereum and we haven't even started. Dude, they're going to get so bad. They're going to get like, I mean, imagine them being worse than they were last cycle. I recently paid $600 to unstake an Ethereum stake. That was it was like a 2.5, 3. It was probably a 3-year stake. The more days you have on your stake, the higher your gas fees are going to be. I think it was like a 3-year stake. $600. Now the value of the stake was higher than $600, so still profitable. But just saying. What's my personal opinion on Mintra? It's crazy. Mintra had a crazy pump. Look, I like Gerardo. I like the founder. People know that because he's just a Hex OG that I've known for a long time. Like, just kind of a friend. But for whatever reason, out of fucking nowhere, Mintra just had a huge green candle. Look at this screen right here. Like, can anybody tell me why somebody bought the price up 10x in one day? This is ridiculous, dude. Look at this. 12x. Mintra did a 12x. 13x in one day. Because somebody out there just wanted to buy the hell out of it. Maybe they were trying to rinse out any weak hands still left. Because, you know, we had a quick dump after that, right? How far did we dump after that? It retraced up to 80% already, 78%. But You know, I guess maybe they wanted to see what would happen if they revived it, quote unquote. Look, like as far as NFT platform coins in general, like I'd much rather have my HEX, PulseX, PulseChain, all that bag covered. Like I'm gonna stick with my PulseX and HEX before I go experiment on other things. But yeah, I've got a small bag of mints. It's nothing crazy. Like I'm not really as bullish as I am on PulseChain itself. Like I think the top performers of the cycle are going to be PulseChain number 1, probably HEX number 2, and PulseX number 3. I've been saying that for a long time now. Like that hasn't changed since the year. Like I think I was saying that 2 years before PulseChain even launched. You know, because here's my reasoning on PulseChain 1, HEX 2, PulseX 3 in terms of ranking those three. Is that the L1 narrative is something that people know. People are familiar with them. And when certain L1s come back in this cycle, like PulseChain is going to be probably one of the main contenders. It's also a cycle 1 coin. So it's not even recycled from like Avalanche and Solana are now in their second cycle. They're going to have a lot harder time, I think, doing the gains that PulseChain is going to do, in my opinion. But so cycle 1 coin, L1 narrative. And I think a lot of L1s in the initially pump harder. I've never seen a DEX token pump harder than the L1 token. Have you? I've never seen it happen. So although I do think PulseX will do well, I don't think it's going to outperform PLS. I think the ratio will luckily bond it to PLS. So when PulseChain goes up, I think PLSX drags Pulse. I think Pulse drags PulseX up with it. So that's just because there's so much liquidity in that pair. But also, look, value kind of flows to the endpoints over time. This was actually from SciVive, I believe. Value of anything over time tends to flow to the endpoints. Like, the value of the internet, it started off in the dumb pipes, meaning the actual cable providers, Comcast, Xfinity, whatever. And then after that was all settled, all the value flowed to the endpoints over time, meaning the application layer. So HEX and PulseX are the application layer, and PulseChain is like the infrastructure layer. So I think PulseChain, in a natural progression of the way that prices work, I think PulseChain pumps first. I think HEX and PulseX still do very well this cycle. I think HEX has more name brand recognition. I think it's going to have a lot more hype, a lot more mainstream people are aware of it. And but I think in the longer run, like on cycle 2, I think it's possible for PulseX to actually outperform PulseChain one day. We're talking 5, 6, 7 years from now, but think about, even if PulseX did like half of what Uniswap does in terms of volume, the buy and burn alone would launch it hundreds of X's from here. But anyway, I've got the Mintra chart pulled up. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. It's still sitting at double. So congrats, Mintra holders. We all doubled our bags. Yay. Like, I'm not like, it's going to probably do, everything's going to pump probably in the bull market, right? A lot of the core coins, but Mintra's an NFT platform. We've also got like 5 or 6 other NFT platforms, so I have no idea which one's going to be the winner or the loser. Mintra seems like it's pretty good, but again, they all kind of do the same thing. It's kind of more about the NFTs themselves rather than the NFT platforms. Like if there's an NFT platform that's listing the hottest NFTs, that's probably what's going to make the platform pump, right? It's more so about networking with the NFT community, getting all the hottest collections on there, getting all the right artists on there. I'm not an NFT expert, but that's going to be, picking a winning NFT platform is going to be who's got the best network of launches and who's got the best stuff on it. For real, like the answer. Yeah, crazy. The pump is crazy though, right? Pump is crazy. ETH can implement sharding one day. Benny Blanco has a great point here that I was talking about earlier, right? We don't exist in a stagnant world, okay? So Benny Blanco says ETH will implement sharding one day, and people forget that all the time. Like the Ethereum team, they're aware of the high gas fees. They know gas fees are high. They know it's terrible. It's just not their priority. It was Richard's priority. It's not their priority. They're a little more, they're not marketers. They're like super smart guys are not always the best at user experience right away. But ETH has had this idea called sharding. No, not pooping and farting at the same time. Sharding. SHARDING. And Benny Blanco says, people love to act like today is the last day on Earth. I couldn't agree with you more, Benny. People love to act like today is like, this is how things are going to be for the rest of humanity for all time ever. Nothing is ever going to improve. Oh my God, the links on PulseX are down. They're never going to come back. I'm going to sell everything. It's funny. But yeah, sharding will happen one day, and that's going to bring Ethereum fees down. And the beautiful thing is that PulseChain can just inherit or adopt any good thing that Ethereum does. And what's even better is that if Ethereum does something bad, like censorship, like we might see Ethereum do some bad stuff. And so now we have this walled garden, PulseChain. PulseChain's a safety net. It's a walled garden, vertically integrated ecosystem. So you don't have to worry about, censorship resistance is an actual thing over on PulseChain. You don't have to worry about anybody coming after you specifically or trying to shut down HEX. We saw Uniswap on their front end. They don't let you click on HEX. What's even more offensive is that they show you HEX and then they say it's unavailable, which is literally the opposite of decentralization. So if any bullshit like that happens on the core foundational Ethereum team, we have an entirely separate blockchain. So this infrastructure layer is critical for long-term viability of censorship resistance. So again, it's long story short, we get to take all the good stuff and we get to leave out all the bad stuff from Ethereum. Any EIP, Ethereum improvement proposal that's good, we can take. And we can also watch and wait and see hey, is this improvement proposal going to work out? So we can let Ethereum be the test bed. That's another cool thing people don't mention is like we can take our time. We can let Ethereum be the test bed. We can adopt the good features. We can see if they actually work out or not. And we could ditch all the junk. Corey Geary, awesome hanging out with you yesterday, bro. Me and Corey got kava yesterday at a kava bar. It was pretty chill, guys. Pretty chill. You guys ever had kava? It was kava and what's that other thing? Kratom? Kava and kratom. Pooping and darting? Pooping and farting. That's sharding. Come on. Don't you guys know sharding? Me and my homies hate Uniswap. For real, Tortuga. All my homies hate Uniswap. They sold out, bro. It's bullshit what they did. They just cucked us. They cucked themselves, really. Hayden Adams just cucked himself, dude. He had a good invention. He had a good thing going. And then he just rolled on over for Daddy SEC to insert themselves into Uniswap, the protocol. Corey says, I fucking love PulseChain. Me fucking too, Corey Geary. So the plan is good account until sharding arrives? Well, no, I mean, look, a lot of people are going to still be profitable in their stakes, right? Like, as long as your stake is over, if you make a stake today, right, and you unstake next year, your gas fees might be, I don't know, $200. But so people making new stakes today, you should probably just make them on PulseChain, right? For now, until Ethereum gets better, right? But if you want to take the risk, too, that Ethereum does get better one day, who knows? If you make some 5, 6, 7-year stakes on Ethereum, I'd say gas fees would probably get fixed by 7 years from now, right? But yeah, a lot of people, even with their earlier stakes, are still up. Like, they're still able to unstake them without losing money to gas fees. But it's just that the gas fees are a pretty significant chunk of the overall stake, and it's really not ideal. It's not cool. And it's like good accounting costs money too, So it's tough, man. It's tough on Ethereum. It's tough to be on the Ethereum chain these days. It's not very inclusive. It's kind of for the elites, for the whales. It's a whale party. Make a good stake, not a mistake. Nice, Chris. Nice. We're ahead of the game as usual. Yeah, look, like Richard's out here squashing 2025 FUD. FUD that you don't even know is out yet. Like all this stuff right here. I mean, look, could this be a better user experience? Yes. But are we extremely more protected from any potential future FUD? Also, yes. Now, the SEC is not coming after the websites. I don't think they have any intention of shutting any of these down. And they couldn't even if they did, right? Because different front ends, downloadable, IPFS. This is just proving a point partially. It's posturing. It's showing anybody that would want to shut this website down. Look, if you want to shut this down, like all you're shutting down is a list of links. Okay. You're not actually shutting down. The protocol is not the website. So in a way, I think he's sending a message that the protocol and the website are different. The protocol is decentralized. And, so that's one aspect of it. But also, like, I don't even think that the SEC has their head around understanding what PulseChain, HEX, and PulseX even are. Like, judging by the way that the complaint was written, it looked like it was written by like a little kid. There was so much false information and just like baseless claims on there. And the fact that they haven't even been able to serve Richard, because it just shows that they've done the bare minimum research on everything. Like, the address that they were trying to serve Richard at was literally just the address of a HEX meetup that they did there in Finland one time. In Helsinki. Not Helsinki, Helsinki. It's like you Google the address and it's just like an office building. You're like, what the hell, guys? Stop wasting all our taxpayer dollars on this shit. So, you know, the SEC, I don't think has really done any work at all. They just see like, oh, that guy bought a Gucci suit. He must be a scammer. Like, I think that's literally the extent of the logic that everyone's using right now. So when the facts come out, when the truth comes out, I'm taking the bet that you're going to find out Richard did not misappropriate funds. And more importantly, that HEX, PulseChain, and PulseX are not alter ego identities. Like, Richard does not equal the products. And that differentiation, if and when the time comes in court, you know, unless, you know, God willing, Gary Gensler gets fired or something else happens, I think we're going to find a very clear division in the understanding of everybody that, yeah, Richard is not PulseChain. Richard's not PulseX. Richard is not HEX, right? It's like you're suing a piece of code. Like, what the hell, guys? They don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing. I do like the color green, says T Gray. I enjoy the color green as well. Green looks good. T-shares are deflationary, Benny Blanco says. That's true. People also don't realize. So when you stake HEX, you're actually buying T-shares, and your T-shares dictate how much daily HEX payout you get per day. The amount of shares that you buy, and a T-share is 1 trillion shares, they dictate how much yield you get in the form of more HEX. So a HEX stake will always mint you more HEX. And the more shares you get, the more HEX you'll get minted. Now, obviously, the USD price can go up a lot and go down a lot. So it's probably a better idea to buy it when it goes down a lot, isn't it? It's down 99%, 98%, maybe 97% on PHEX. So I don't know. You tell me. Is it buy low, sell high, or is it buy high, sell low? Such simple advice. So much easier said than done for certain people. T-shares are pure deflationary. Yes, they are. So basically, yeah, what Benny is saying is that T-shares are always getting more and more scarce, because when you make a HEX stake, you're essentially burning HEX and you're minting new T-shares. When you end a HEX stake, you are burning T-shares and you're minting new HEX. But because T-shares are always getting more expensive, shares are getting minted at a slower rate than they're getting burned. There's more shares being burned every day than there are being created every day, because they're getting more expensive every day overall. Not like with USD prices, not necessarily, but in HEX terms, they're always getting more expensive. And so, yeah, it always becomes harder and harder, which is why these whales with rolling stakes will eventually tire themselves out. Or I think what's more of a concern in terms of whale dumpability is all the pre-big payday stakers that have all these crazy bonuses. Like, rolling stakers will, over the course of 1 or 2 years, they'll actually tire themselves out. Like, they'll actually, like, you'll only end up with maybe like half the T-shares you once had if you tried doing like a monthly rolling stake for, like, I don't know, 1 year straight. That math is not exact, right? It's just basically you're going to end up not being able to do that strategy forever, is all I'm saying. Buy low, sell lower. Yeah. That's been some people's strategy. That's correct. Crispy knows this stuff super well. Crispy is a really smart dude. Crispy made a website called hexfire.io. Jeez. Keep hearing noises outside. Hexfire.io. This is a dashboard. It's a Power BI dashboard. Wait for it. Yeah, so you got the HEX price, you got a lot of the T-share statistics, I like that he's got his all of his links up here. He's got the Coast on-ramp link, the communist link, support on Patreon. He's got, what is this? Oh, that's just mobile version, like for mobile. Okay. So yeah, if you look at the share rate, what's probably the most valuable chart to me is it tells you when the share rate is estimated to ratchet up. So that's how we're able to know that the share rate's going right now from about 32K to, or from 30K to 34K very, very soon. Very, very soon. You could have it be on the Ethereum side or on the PulseChain side. Pretty cool website, guys. Pretty cool website. HEX has them Year of the Dragon colors. Does it? Hell yeah. It is Year of the Dragon, so hey, if you're into numerology, Year of the Dragon, baby. HEX 5555. People forget. People forget. It's an eminence front. Do. HEX is very fire-like. Hedron, Icosa, Communists, all projects built on top of HEX, all run flawlessly. Yeah, I like Hedron. I like Icosa. I like Communists. UBS adjusts PAG Seguro digital price target from what? What the heck is that? UBS adjusts PAG Seguro digital price target. All right, you're trying to shill something? Be gone. Be gone, foul chiller. Lovely 25% pump on EHEX. That's right, but also like a tree. All right, guys, an hour and 15 minutes. Hour and 15 minutes. I'm going to go. I got a party to go to tonight. I'm going to go socialize, get out of the house a little bit. Hey, all 242 viewers, thank you so much for coming. Hold on a second. Hold on just a minute here, everybody. I have to do one last thing. And I have to... Oh, I got to pull up my YouTube. Hold on. And hide user on channel. Ha ha ha. All right, guys. Hey, thank you all for coming. Tigray says thanks for all you do. No problem, guys. Oh, yeah, by the way, I squashed the 2024 FUD for block AIDS. There's a service called Block AIDS that was going to try to tell you that HEX was a naughty website, and so that's gone. So you're welcome, guys. Hey, look, if you want to be miserable, you're going to find something to be miserable about. You got a couple of options right now. Basically, you can do this. You can buy more, you can hold, or you can sell. Okay? If your long-term thesis hasn't changed, then you can hold or buy. If you're too scared, if this is not the game for you, you're always welcome to leave. And there's also two actions you could really take. You could, well, there's three. You could sit around and whine and bitch and moan and complain and be a net negative to everybody, including yourself. Or you could be a net positive, contribute, build, promote, market. Or you could just not say a word. You know, a lot of people are probably better off taking a little social media break, maybe not being on Twitter all day, every day. Because, you got to affect what you can control. You'll feel better affecting what you can control in reality, right? Like, you'll feel a lot better. If you're woe is me and you just leave it up to, oh, why is all this bad stuff happening to me? Well, it's also kind of happening for you. It's also an opportunity to do something about it within your control. Like, me and a couple of guys were filing a petition for an amicus brief. By the way, everybody, how could I possibly forget? PulsePetition.org. PulsePetition.org got 30,000 signatures right now, and this is going to be submitted to a federal court, to a federal judge. 36,000. Oh my God, we're gonna pass Ripple. We're really on our way to over 50K, guys. We're really gonna get over 50,000 signatures. Unreal. And judge is gonna read this. They're gonna get our point of view. We got Robert Barnes. He's an epic lawyer. He defended Kyle Rittenhouse. He defended Wesley Snipes in worse situations than Richard's in. SEC is a civil agency. The DOJ is not involved. I don't believe the DOJ will get involved. I don't believe they have any evidence to get involved. But regardless, we've got this lawyer who's going to send in this amicus brief. Amicus? I don't even know if I'm saying it right. It might be amicus. And so the judge is going to be forced to learn about what our side of the story is, that we actually sacrificed for freedom of speech, that we were not victims of Richard, that nobody got scammed here, and that the SEC is the real scam. And they're going to learn that. They're going to have to take that into account. So It's just an example of doing something about it, right? But misery loves company too. There's always guys that you're gonna find corners of the internet of people telling you why you should sell your bags. And if that's what you're looking for, then go find it. If you're looking for someone to tell you why you should sell, go find it. If you're gonna fall for the crybaby miss the cycle meme, good luck, bro. Really good luck. I think we're gonna be fine. I think all the metrics speak for themselves. Superior product, cheaper, faster, awesome, huge, thriving community. We're just not going anywhere, guys. We are really not going anywhere. You cannot, no matter how hard you try, make us all go away. It's crazy. It's crazy to me. We are that dedicated. We got to teach people again, homies. Education never ends. Yeah, that's right. Let's see. Teach people what real crypto is, not decentralized garbage described as crypto. Yep, that's exactly right. We got to teach people what real crypto is. Teach people how to do it the right way. Let's see. HEX coin is the best blockchain currency ever invented. I agree. And look, man, it's an emotional game, right? That's all you're doing is you're either adding more emotions to it, and you're getting out of bed. Like some people are also just addicted to feeling fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And they don't even realize like their default state is fear, uncertainty, and doubt. So focus on little things, right? I mean, I even say biologically, like sleep right, eat right, exercise. If you take care of those things, you're already going to be like 50% less stressed out. You're already going to be 50% less stressed out at a baseline level if you're sleeping 8 hours a day, if you're not drinking every day, obviously, and then if you're eating right, eat like real food, basically, and then exercise even just 15, 20 minutes a day. You don't need to go super hard at the gym, but just get out there, go outside. Grounding is actually important. Getting sunlight in the morning. So take care of the biological stuff and then focus on little steps you can do. I mean, if you want me to go Jordan Peterson on you, I'll tell you to clean your room. But no, really, I mean, if there's any little thing you can do to make an improvement and be the change you want to see and make PulseChain better, there's infinite opportunities. And you might even be able to make money in the process. A lot of people started full-on businesses where they're actually profitable within PulseChain. And when the markets come back, if and when the markets come back, I mean, they're only going to be that much more profitable. So hopefully whatever you're doing is adding value. Or again, you don't have to participate, but you also don't have to take in everyone's negative energy either. It's totally optional. Mute button is right there for you. Yeah, I hope everyone's doing all right. I'm doing just fine. I'm having a good time. Enjoy the green candles. I'm having a pretty awesome time with this 10% up day on PulseX, on PulseChain, 8% up on PulseX, 14% up on HEX, and 7% up on INC. Is there anything else to cover, guys? Is there anything else to cover? Hex Ed says, appreciate your live streams. Thank you, Hex Ed. Thank you. I appreciate you being here. Been following you on Twitter for some time now. John Bishop says, most of us are here for the next 15 years anyway. That's right. That's right. We're here for the next 15 years. Chris A says, eat a lot of fruit, drink a lot of coconuts. I do love coconut water. It's very, very hydrating. Crypto Bendu says, I thank you as well, Coffee, for helping with the community. Thank you, Crypto Bendu. John Bishop, have a great day, Benny. Yeah, let's wrap it up. I'm kind of hot. I got to turn the AC on up in this biatch.